exclusive. We go into the live action after Gary Muller's first victory as the Wolverines' main man. And we'll look ahead to Maryland, Michigan's next test. All that and more coming up next. Michigan replay.
Wins the table like he's at the game ball. Coach Muller.
For an old rookie coach like some of you guys, that's a good one. Thanks a lot. I appreciate that, baby. I do. Thank you very much.
Gary Muller gets the game ball from the Michigan football team after the 38-15 win over UCLA. And you were just saying, you know, that looks a little corny, but boy, it feels good, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does. Particularly anytime your players reward you with something, and that makes you feel good. And of course, to get that first one under your belt, you know, it seemed like a long time, 10 months ago, looking forward for the first win, Jim. But we got 9 more weeks to keep our focus on.
A whole lot different attitude in that locker room than the week before with the frustration and disappointment of Notre Dame. It just all seemed to flow off the kids' backs and off of your back. You got that first win. That makes a big difference, doesn't it?
No question. And I also feel, Jim, that some of our kids felt better with themselves because they know they played better. And that's the key. And, you know, there's very few good teams right now in the country. And the good teams will be down there at the end, and that's what our main objective is. But I'm quite proud of the kids.
Do you feel like maybe the monkey's off your back a little bit? You know, you got that first victory. Okay, now, okay, let's get to work, kind of.
Right, yeah, you can relax a little more, and particularly when you're starting out with Notre Dame, UCLA. Now, a lot of people are going to take things for granted this week, but we see an improved Maryland team, and we got to get better. The key to our success is each week we go out there and get a little better.
Does the first win almost give you the sense like, okay, now this is my team. These are my guys. It's my, you know, it's one of those deals. Because, you know, everybody's still talking about Bo and all those other things, but this one really kind of gets you established as the man.
Yeah, I think so. But, you know, as I've told people before and I've told you, you know, Bo Schembechler of football, as long as I'm the head coach, is never really going to leave. And I know Bo, wherever he was today, sit back and knew that there was a lot of him out there. Maybe different play calling, a few things. But, you know, those are still his kids, and he feels very close to them. And we were happy.
Yeah, last year he says Air Moeller, and then you got a back that goes 2 weeks in a row over 200 yards.
I'm going to call him tonight and talk about Air Moeller, yeah. But, yeah, John Vaughn did a good job, and he would be proud. Bo would be proud to see us getting 2 tight ends and a flanker. That was the football we ran when you played.
I know.
So, yeah, it's a good feeling. It's a great feeling to get the running game going. And we tightened up there in the third quarter a little bit because of the wind, and we didn't want to do anything foolish.
Well, it sure was a good win, and the Bruins of UCLA went down to defeat, and John Vaughn had quite a day. Speaking of John Vaughn, he got some help from the big guys up front, but they liked the way John Vaughn ran, too.
Well, he's a big part of our offense, too. He knows how to cut. He knows how to read our blocks well. He's been around us long enough now. He knows what kind of blockers we are. He knows how long we stay on our blocks. And he makes some great cuts. He's a great, young, talented kid that, you know, gives, you know, he's show the kind of kid he is. He's giving all the credit to the offensive line, which he deserves a lot of it, too. He makes things happen out there, and it's going to be an exciting season with him in the backfield.
No problem. Keep the meeting as scheduled.
Your car's too important to have it tied up all day. I know. I'm Mr. Goodwrench.
And I just saw, you know, the biggest hole. You know, actually, my eyes get so big when I'm running through the line because I've never seen holes this big in my life. Never.
Maybe John Vaughn would have seen holes as big as that if he'd have played when I was playing in the offensive line.
I know. No, I don't think so. No. He just saw some big bodies, but not those big holes. John's being very kind. He did a good job. But truthfully, you know, as we talked early in the year, you know, we have to have one of the best offensive lines in the country. I'm not saying we are. I say we have to have in order to be a good team. And we're just getting started, really. Yeah, and you got started with the offensive line early in this ball game. You wanted to establish a run. I think that was clear. And on the first play, John Vaughn took off. Yeah, he did. He had a nice run here on the first play, and it helps any game when you can open up with 43 yards. And it gives you a good start. And just here, he just gets dragged down. So, and then Bunch came through for us, Jim. You know, he's a guy that I told you has to get the ball, and he's deserving of the ball. And he's our veteran back, and I was glad to see him. I think he had 70 or 80 yards today. He's a big, strong kid.
Well, and the other thing is you go outside with him, which he hadn't had done in the last couple of years.
No, the defense was set that way. You know, they're that touchdown, just looking at it there's a great surge by the offensive line. It's one of those indications of great blocking.
Well, you just started out like a house of fire. Here's Bunch again outside. He's got the speed to go out there, and you got to utilize that.
Jared's close to 240, and he can run a good 4.55 40, and so that helps. Then we mix in the passing here, which is what we didn't do the second half, because Derek Alexander and Desmond never touched the ball other than kickoffs. Desmond the second half.
Now you get the field goal here, but they are offsides. You take points off the board. That's a little strange.
Yeah, you get nervous about that, but fortunately Dave Diebold here, our tight end, makes a good catch. His first tight end reception, and John sweeps right and dives into the end zone. So you're always hesitant to erase points on that board, but I felt we had something going. We could drive the ball a little bit.
14-0. You go to the second quarter, and there's the big play.
Yeah, big play action fake, and we knew they were biting up, and Derek Alexander has good speed, Jim, and makes a nice catch there, and Elvis really throws that one on the money.
And talk about a great catch. How about this one?
This was an excellent catch. Elvis gets hit right there, as you can see, and then Desmond went behind him to catch the ball. If he doesn't, his play intercepted. That would have changed things in a hurry.
And then you just bang it up in the middle. Now it's 21-0. Hey, here we are. We got a route on the way, but the defense kind of backed up a little, didn't they?
Yeah, it's kind of what I did in the third quarter, and I think Coach Carr was thinking, hey, you're ahead 21-0. Let's don't get too fancy, make them march the ball. And unfortunately, they do here. And then we got a little more aggressive, I believe, in the second half. But they're a good team, and you know they're going to get some points.
And the other thing is they've got great skilled people. Maybe that's the thing, and this is what they're doing. Quarterback throwing it, some awfully good skilled people.
There's a great catch there. Tripp had him man-to-man and kind of went down. The young man jumped up and caught the ball. And, you know, this is a play that I thought Plate played pretty well, and it bounced up into his hands. These bounce passes are getting to drive us nuts, I think.
21-6, still got the game under control, but then your offense slows down a little bit, even though you're still running well.
Yeah, Bunch powers up in there again, and as I said, we want to utilize him. And here Bunch is for about 20 yards here on an inside dive, and we start to march the ball again.
Now, this is the one you got to work on.
Yeah, we had a bad hold here by Kenny Solomon. We tried a 56-yard field goal because we had to win, which gives UCLA field position at a bad time. Now, this play here is an excellent run by UCLA, but T.J. Osmond got banged in the head a little bit and couldn't remember where he was the play before, and he angled the wrong way, which created a big hole up the middle and give them a scoring opportunity. So our missed field goal there really hurt us. But unfortunately for us, Desmond's going to bring this back into field position. And the good thing about this drive here, Jim, is right after they do come back with the 2 quick scores, our offense is able to come right back and put some points on the board. Here, John makes a great run again. Again, you see some holes, but there's not much of a hole there.
All right, at 21-12, they got the momentum. You get the good kickoff. This is a key drive for you to reestablish.
No question, no question. Here's another strong run by John for about 20 yards. So there's some good holes there to get him started. He's doing a good job once he gets in the secondary, and here he goes around the end. Derek Alexander throws a good block, and he outruns a couple people.
Well, that's just speed, too. There's the quickness of John Vaughn that maybe we don't realize. He's fast.
I think he's a little faster. You always used to Tony Bowles, who would glide and things, but he's a little faster than a lot of people think. Then right before halftime, one of the worst plays defensively is this one right here. When they allow this kickoff return, again giving them some field position, they hit a couple passes and kick the field goal before half. So, you know, that kicking game, it always creeps up on you.
And they were able to get this. Now, Tripp Wellborn gambled there and probably shouldn't have, huh?
Well, I think he had a chance to intercept it. I think he dove a little too early. If he'd have kept his feet, I think he'd have ran right underneath it. Here's one of their very few running plays for yardage other than that big one they busted up the middle. Greatest stat we had, Jim. They only had 44 yards rushing.
They kick a field goal, and at halftime, it's by no means a done deal. I mean, UCLA's got you scared at this point, don't they?
Oh, yeah. There's no question about that. And we have to go back and regroup. And, of course, the greatest thing about that score right there is they go into the half with 15, and they end up the final score with 15. And I was happy to see our defense not allow any points in that second half.
But going in at halftime, you had to be saying to Lloyd Carr, your defensive coordinator, said, Lloyd, we got to stop these guys.
Well, he told me coming off, he said, you know, I didn't want to be too aggressive, you know, when we got that lead, and maybe I let up a little too soon. Then we try that field goal and goof up, and then they get the kickoff return back. But I think our defense is going to improve, and hopefully they got some confidence and some positive things happen for them.
Did you feel like that last field goal just before half maybe gave them the edge and momentum?
Oh, yeah, going in the locker room,
yeah.
Sure, because, you know, if we don't allow that to happen right after we come back, as we just talked about, and scored, now they're still wondering, you know, what's going on. Yeah. And then we had another opportunity there later that we should have taken advantage of, but the outcome was good.
The outcome certainly was good. The second half, the Wolverines put it away. Don't go away. We'll be back and take a look at the highlights of John Vaughn and the rest of the Wolverines in that great defensive stand when we return.
I think that the defense came out more intense in the second half. We really wanted to shut them down in the second half. Coach Carr gave us a little pep talk, told us that we had to shut them down. The defense came out and did the job.
The adjustment defensively to keep them at 15 might have been the key.
Right, I believe that's true. Of course, it makes me feel good, I'll tell you that. And I think they did a good job with them. I said, you know, just a moment ago that maybe we got a little conservative defensively. But, you know, you go up 21-0, you know, right now, don't give them a big play, and you can hang in there pretty good. So you're still trying to win the game. And you're going to see in the third quarter we go a little conservative in a way. Here, Elvis, we have a terrible play here. A guy leaves a man on a pass rush and hit Elvis from behind, and the ball flies off. And this was a tough way to start. A great job of the defense.
Yeah, other than that kickoff return, maybe the worst play of the game for you, huh?
Exactly, yeah. We don't like to turn that ball over. We had two today. They think they had two. Here they hit their big tight end on a counter play, and they hit that a couple, 3 times throughout the day. They had a good play there. Then we keep coming, and they complete another one. Unfortunately for us, we get a tip ball and an interception.
Well, I mean, this is a big play, too, because this game is still in doubt.
Right, very big play. Right here, Tripp, I believe, tips the ball, and Lance Dotton comes up with the interception. That was a big play. And here, we fail to move. However, we do, Jim, you know, when you were there. The key thing now is we got to come up with 1 first down. We did that, so we had a little room to punt.
They come back, start moving the ball again on you, and right before the third quarter, get it over midfield.
Yes, they bring across midfield, and then we have a personal foul penalty, I believe, on Eric Anderson. And then Eric Anderson, I guess, is still ticked off, but Hutch knocks his guy into the quarterback, and Eric comes up with a fine interception and showing his running abilities there. Eric was the next fullback.
Yeah, you're not going to move him to fullback, are you?
No, no. We want to leave him right where he's at.
But then you come back, and maybe, again, the big thing is after that you get the interception. UCLA still has a shot. You really put them away. Right.
There's John Vaughn on a nice, strong run. And of course, those plays are beautiful. You know, as you're sitting there calling plays, sometimes you like to see those biggies. And then J.D. nails a field goal here to give us 31-15. This give us a little breathing room.
They come back here and throw a big, long bomb that probably never should have been caught.
No, the guy was throwing deep down the sideline. Our defender went out there, and theirs adjusted. It kind of hung up in the wind, but, you know, you got to give them credit. They made the big play. But, again, we had the ability to stop them. Here's the key thing, Jim. If they don't run the ball on you, you're going to win the game. You just got a great chance of winning the game.
And this is one of the weirdest plays of the day.
Yeah, no question about that. They scramble around. They threw the ball backwards here. Our players are celebrating.
Yeah, but that's a live ball still.
Jim, what did they tell you when they first coached you? Go until
the whistle blows.
All right, you still remember those things.
I've been coached well, huh?
Yeah, that's right. So Hamlin and Bo taught you something, right?
Something, anyway, yeah. And this is what a run,
yeah.
huh?
John had a good run here, and when he got in the secondary, it was over. The thing that happened there, they couldn't find the ball. And in defense of UCLA a little bit, they're awfully banged up. Their starting strong safety didn't play today, and that hurt them. So they had some things that went against them from an injury standpoint. You know, that injury thing, you know, knock on wood, you got to...
Yeah, let's knock on wood.
That's exactly right.
You've been pretty healthy.
We've had our bumps and bruises, but it's key. And I give credit to our training staff, Mike Gittleson, the weight strength, and Russ Miller for keeping them healthy and his staff. So those things are vitally important.
Bo used to always say you make your biggest improvement from game 1 to game 2. Did this team make that improvement, or are there areas you think that, you know, we could pick it up a little on?
Well, I'd have to say by looking at that film, I think our defense made some improvement. I think offensively, maybe we didn't turn the ball over as much, but, you know, I think we played pretty well offensively last week. It's key to me every single week. The one that, you know, I'm anxious about next week. Don't, you know, mistake that Maryland game is very important, but, you know, I want a good warm-up game, or not, I shouldn't call it a warm-up game, but I want a great game going into that Big Ten season. And, you know, looking down the road, Wisconsin, then we got Michigan State at home who played well today. I mean, we got to start getting ready. But that's, you know, that's what we work for, and that's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about. Maryland happens to be the team that the Wolverines will meet next. Don't go away. We'll have their scouting report when Michigan Replay continues.
This game's over with now. You know, it's today and tomorrow. You know, we can enjoy it, but you know, once next week starts, you know, it's back down to business. You know, we don't want to lose what we just gained today. We want to keep going forward.